Hi Richard, Nimrod 3. Right. Leaf order a little bit, do a bit of whispering. Mention some of the guys that you saw around. Great coming to work for Richard. Fantastic. Brilliant people. Brilliant listening company. Good team, all working together, all pulling together. Mentioned a couple of problems we had at Sodexo. Sodexo not allowed us to do, and what we want to do. That's the problem. I mentioned I had problems at the very start with management not listening to me. I wanted to do a switch case and some JavaScript. I'm going to mention that now. I'm going to mention Minerva to you. Now, you mentioned to me about documentation, and I've specified to yourself that I wanted to communicate with you via proto page for a long time now. All right, I'm whispering here. No, I'll step back. I'll speak a little louder. Yeah, Minerva. Documentation. Right, Minerva has a number of phases. Genesis, that's note-taking on bits of scraps of paper. Now you can use proto page to do Genesis documents called sticky notes and HTML. So all the stuff I do in proto page and all the notes I spent here, they're Genesis documents. Those are my initial thoughts. Now, when you've done your initial thoughts and you want to document something, I want you to do it, and I want you to do this, and I'll be doing it for you on this telephone project. Google documents. So you write up your specifications in Google documents, and they're called Socrates documents. So they come under Socrates. Right, now Apollo is MP4 stuff, which is what I'm doing now. So when you go onto my proto page and you see Apollo, you'll see that that's MP4. If you see Socrates, you'll see it's Google documents. If you see it's Genesis, I won't put it as Genesis because that's the nature of proto page. Proto page is Genesis documentation. So when you come at me, Richard, saying I don't produce documentation, I've got reams of documentation, and I've been asking you to do proto page so you can so you can come back to me. You don't have a phone number, so I can't ring you. So we can't talk, which is very frustrating. And you email me infrequently. When I send you an email, I don't know if I'm going to get it back the following day or the following month. So we need to improve our communications, Richard. We're working in an agile environment, and I'm doing a day in the life every day. If I'm going on my computer and doing a day in the life and doing what I'm doing for the day, I don't see why you can't drop me an email and let me know how you're doing. It'll take you a second. Right, so there you are. Now on to Minerva and SSADM. I've done Golf proto page. Golf 2020 has been a project for Zeus. The project is called Zeus, and I put in there the various phases of SSADM. Now I want you to go through this with me and work together with me on this, Richard, because SSADM generates lots and lots of paperwork. We don't want to be doing that. I'm not going to be doing the flow charts in Google Forms. I might do some flow charts, and that'll be a Phobos or Deimos document. Deimos is spreadsheets, and that's Google Forms, and Phobos is flow charts. So I'll just should take a note of that. Phobos and Deimos. Deimos, D for data, spreadsheets. Phobos, flowcharts. Right, and charts. So there's the documentation standards. I hope we can work together with that. It's called Minerva. And I tried to do that at Veristar, and I worked with a young girl there called Megan, and I did the for the procedures for the stuff we could do. I did Genesis documents, and I didn't have a word processor. I didn't have Microsoft Word, but Megan did. So I let Megan do all the Socrates documentation, and she did a good job. But they had her in tears, and she left. She should have been promoted. She did a great job. I wasn't interested in promotion at Veristar. I just wanted to do a little job, a little admin job. Perfectly happy doing an admin job and looking after the girls. I looked after Megan and brought her through. I did Genesis stuff, and she documented it all with Socrates and did a good job using Word. I forget what I had. It was a cheaper version of it, and I didn't take to it, so I didn't want to do the documentation. It's crazy, actually. People in the same team having different word processing. It is strange place, Richard. It's strange. Yeah, so we tried to get the documentation for Veristar out there, and we did quite a lot, but never got on top of the actual provision, the auto provisioning. So I've got this thing called Signature, and sometime, Richard, if we get onto it, I want you to try and do an API with TalkTalk to do auto provisioning, and then we'll give that to Veristar to say that's the auto provision process done. The switch case, in fact, I'll tell a lie now. I don't want to do that. I want to go to BT, because BT now I've got a dialogue. If you go to BT doing an inquiry on the line, it'll tell you what type of line to have. So we need to do an interface with BT, because BT have done the switch case on the types of lines that you have and whether you can have what type of broadband. So we'll talk about that under another title. It's another one of the things that unfinished business. We'll put that down as unfinished business. I've got an unfinished business. It's auto provisioning for Veristar. Veristar, do that under Veristar Community Systems. I'm still running that. Right. A little bit lost now. Where am I now? I've told you a lot, Richard. I told you about Minerva now, so I can entitle this video Nimrod 3 Minerva. I can tell you where I'm up today. All this needs communicating. Now I'm doing this for kids, Richard. Really, I want to get kids involved with doing IT work, and I'm doing a little ABC book called the ABC book. David, who comes round to see me, has a son who's 2.5 years of age, and he's teaching him as you do your child. So I've decided to do an ABC book: A for apple, B for banana, C for cat, D for dog, but also use it for ourselves. So D for dog, D for digital champions. So I'll do a link for all the work I've done on digital champions. H is a house, design house. So I've done a link there for design house on some of the stuff that we're doing. I'll do N for Nimrod, N for Minerva. So N for, don't know what I did N for. What do kiddies do? N for Nana. N for Nana. So I get a picture of Mrs. Doubtfire up there, I think. And M for mouse. And do a PC mouse. Do a picture of a PC mouse. Introduction to PCs for children for David. So that's where I am now. I think that's about it for Nimrod, actually. Oh yeah, Nimrod. Yeah, back to Nimrod. So what is Nimrod? What is Nimrod now? Nimrod is the project within the project. We've got a project called Zeus now, which is click and collect. Right. If when working within a project, you see that there is an offshoot to something else, like Paul with his disaster recovery for his distribution system. If you see there's an offshoot, then you put that under Nimrod, under a project folder called Nimrod. So you're working on click and collect, Zeus, right? Project is the main project now you're working on, Richard, is called Zeus. The sub-project is called click and collect, right? And the sub-project within that is called Nimrod. And Nimrod is a spin-off what Paul can use for his distribution system. So that when we've done it, we can say to Paul, here, this is what we're using for shops, for click and collect, for Withington Golf Club, for Hillsborough Golf Club, for Holsworth Golf Club, for Hazel Golf Club, right? But you can use it for your distribution systems to get the girls to know what they should be packaging. So that's called synergy. So we'll do this Nimrod video now. Nimrod 2 has gone into Minerva and synergy. Now synergy is important, very important. Is when you do something for one, you get your next one free. So by doing a click and collect for Withington Golf Club, we got a click and collect free for Hillsborough Golf Club. I got a click and collect free for Hazel Grove. Now, when you come to do the design, Richard, you may decide that we have the one click and collect, and like Curry's, when you do the transaction with Curry's, you put in the transaction which shop you want to go to. Then that's the option that I want you to consider. And that's the decision. Whether we do independent click and collects that we ship independently and charge £600 a time for, or whether we do a web-based one for the whole of the UK golf industry, where you specify which golf club you are, and that does the email to that golf club. Now that's your decision, Richard, right? This is a package we're going to sell. We're going to sell it for £600 because it'll come with a shop, right? It's up to you and Paul now to decide whether we do it as an industry-based solution, as a single web service, like Curry's, where you specify the outlook, the shop, Altrincham, when I did a click and collect sample purchase for a Henry Hoover that I bought the other day to test click and collect at Curry's. So it's your decision, Richard. You're the programmer. You're the senior programmer. You're the Microsoft certified programmer. You're the man with all the skills. I'm a programmer. I'm a very good programmer, but I don't have your skills. And I've tried, and I could have done it had I got into a place where I was working with the team. I could have done it had I been employed somewhere as a junior programmer working under a senior programmer. No doubt about that, Richard. I could be doing what you're doing if I got involved in a team, but nobody would employ me because I didn't have a degree. So, go fool me. Didn't try hard enough, Richard, really. I should have tried harder. I should have come down to see you and got my machine working. Should have had a week down with you and got my machine working. And well, that's water on the bridge. That's 20 years ago now, Richard. We've been doing this for 20 years. But I'm still plugging away at it and still trying because you're the main man. And I'm an analyst And that's what I am. I'm an analyst, and you're a programmer, and that's a relationship I think we need to have. Asking me to program Richard is not going to work. That's 15 minutes. I'm going to stop that now, Richard. 15 minutes before the video stops.